Hello, my name is Beck and welcome to a reading vlog. I've done a few things since I last talked in a reading vlog, so I just wanted to drop in and quickly update you before I have to go to work. So it is Monday the 13th of May and it's around, I want to say 7:30, but I feel like it's earlier than that in the morning. Yesterday it was actually my birthday and I turned 26, and so I got a few little cool things for my birthday, including a book that I bought for myself. So if you watch my videos regularly, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of Sebastian de Castell, and the 5th book in his Spellslinger series came out very recently, so I picked that up at the bookstore with some store credit that I got for my birthday, so I can't wait to read this one. But at the moment I'm currently reading Sabriel. I have about 150 pages left of Sabriel to finish, and that's part of the reason that I'm starting this reading vlog, because I want to finish Sabriel so I can jump onto some other books that I really want to read because they're starting to build up. Sabriel, if you didn't know, is a young adult fantasy and it follows a necromancer named Sabriel, and her father goes missing and potentially is dead, but we're not quite sure, and so she's got to stop this ancient evil from reawakening, and she runs into a few different characters while she's doing this kind of quest. And at the beginning it took me a little bit to get into because the pacing was a bit slow, but now that the characters have come into the story and Sabriel can interact with people and kind of have a banter and a rapport with them and then show off her magic, it's become a bit more interesting to me. So I'm hoping that I can speed through the last 150 pages really quickly so that I can jump into Queenslayer, because that is my favourite series ever and I just love it so much. And Spellslinger, if you haven't read it before, is also a young adult fantasy, and it's about a character named Kellen, and he wants to learn magic and he tries to learn magic. He knows all of the somatic forms, which is when he has to shape his fingers in order to spark his magic bands, which is a pretty unique magic system in itself, but he actually can't spark his bands, so he relies a lot on banter and on bluffing to get himself by in this very, very rough world that he lives in. It also has tropes of the underdog main character and the chosen family, which I really, really adore, so I can't wait to jump on and read book 5 in the series because I love this series so much, as I have already said. And also, since I last talked to you, I went to the Aurora Rising book launch. I picked up Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff recently, and they signed it to me. They were really lovely. I was very surprised that Amy was at the launch because she's very, very, very pregnant, but she was a trooper and she stayed and she did the signing, so that's why I have both signatures in this one, which I'm really grateful for. This is a multiple perspective science fiction story about a squad and an ancient evil. No, maybe I'm lying. On the back it says nobody panic, so I feel like something is going down, but I can't wait to read this one as well. Obviously I've got it lined up. I don't know if I'll read it after Queenslayer, but I'm thinking it'll go Sabriel, Queenslayer, and then Aurora Rising. And then one last thing, because when Jay gave this to me, I almost screamed. Jay Kristoff writes this absolutely amazing series called Nevernight, and if you don't know or haven't heard me talk about them, Nevernight and God's Grave are some of my favourite books of all time. They're about a female assassin named Mia, and she wants to get revenge for the murder of her family. Again, it sounds like a kind of generic storyline, but I feel like that's the danger of summing a book up in a couple of words. But basically what I'm trying to get to is Jay gave me a Dark Dawn arc, and it has taken so much of my strength not to read this so soon because I've got a bunch of other books that have recently released and this one doesn't come out until September. And Jay was also awesome and signed this for me, so oh my god, I can't wait to read this one so much. So I need to get through those 3 books that I showed you before so that I can jump on and read Dark Dawn, because I just know that this is going to be a 5-star book for me, and I've had a little bit of a dry patch when I've not been able to find very many 5-star books, so hopefully some of the books that I read before this, like Queenslayer, I know is probably going to be a 5-star because I love that author so much. But I don't know about Aurora Rising. I've heard awesome things and then a few kind of mixed things, so I'm trying to lower my expectations before I start that one. But yes, those are the books that I can't wait to read, hopefully this week. I want to say this week, but I feel like I'll start a couple of them this week, so don't expect me to finish all of them this week, but we'll see how I go. I'm also listening to the audiobook for The Night Circus, so I think I'm about halfway through that one. I might end up finishing this week, but I'll let you know if I do. Hello, it's Thursday and I have an update for you, and it might be a mildly controversial one, but I ended up finishing The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern and I didn't actually like it that much. I gave it about a 3 out of 5 stars and it kind of fell flat for me. I was listening to it on audiobook and I thought that might be one of the barriers to me liking it, but I reflected and I realised that I've loved so many books on audiobooks, so that can't really be the reason why. It's not like I didn't absorb the content. In all honesty, the atmosphere was really beautiful in this book, and the setting of the circus was really, for lack of a better word, it was really magical, which I really liked. But unfortunately, I got some of the characters mixed up in the beginning, and then they weren't very defined until the very end. And then when consequences and things started coming to light and characters started to interact a little bit more with each other in a more, I want to say in a more serious manner, I didn't really care, which sounds pretty harsh, but if the book was built and had a stronger foundation for me, and I don't know, it wasn't like it was a bad book, I just couldn't connect with it very well. And I've already posted about this on Instagram and I've had a few messages, and they were saying that they loved the book and the atmosphere of it, but I just found that the plot was very flat, and I can't really describe the plot to you even. It seems very vague to me, and it's like the setting was the main focus of the story, and then the plot and the characters kind of pivoted around that. So unfortunately, this was a bit of a letdown for me. I'm probably going to get rid of this paperback or give it to a friend, because if I didn't enjoy it, there's not really much point holding on to it when someone else could like it. So at least it's off my TBR. It was on my priority list to read this year, so that's one down, which I'm really happy about regardless. Yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. Didn't really like it as much as I wanted to, and will probably be getting rid of this one after I film my wrap up. I don't know how long that will be, but I just posted my more recent reading wrap up, so when I film the other wrap up after that one, this will be in it and then I'll get rid of it. I've also read some more of Sabriel, so I'm fairly close to the end. I think I've probably got less than 100 pages left now, so I'm looking forward to finishing this one. I'm probably going to finish it this week. So I know I say that in reading vlogs and then the weekend happens and I'm like, I didn't read anything this weekend, but this is going to be different. I am going to make sure that I get through at least 90% of this, if not more. I'm sitting on about 79 or 80 something percent of this one at the moment, so I'm going to finish this one so that I can start my other reads. And speaking of my other reads, earlier in this vlog I said that I was going to start Queenslayer next, but I know that's going to guarantee me a 5-star book, and I don't want to fall into kind of like a reading funk after reading it, because only a 5-star book after it will make me feel good, and I don't think I really have many of those on my TBR at the moment. I feel like I'm giving a lot of books at the moment about 4 stars or 3 or 3.5, and I really want to read more 5-star books, but I've got Aurora Rising to read next, and I'm hoping that I like this one. Again, earlier in my vlog I said that I've heard mixed things, so I'm just going to go into this one with really low expectations and hope that I enjoy it. And the font is actually really big, so I'm pretty sure I'll get through this faster than I think, but I just need to actually make the effort, finish Sabriel and pick it up first. So that one is next on my TBR. Queenslayer will probably be after this one, and then after that I'll probably read Dark Dawn, because favourite authors, very excited, can't wait. And then in addition to my reading update, I actually got a package in the mail, and this came from a trade that I did on Twitter, and they sent me a comic from Book Depository, so I'm going to open that right now, and I need to sneeze. It just went away. These pull tab thingies never really work for me. So I have volume 1 of The Wicked and the Divine, and I've actually read this already. I read this a few years ago though, so I'd like to reread it and then maybe do a review on it, because it's the first volume in a series. All I know is that it's kind of a fantastical series. It's set in our world, but with gods or fantastical elements to it, which I really enjoy the concept of. And I remember that the ending of this was kind of mind-blowing, so I'm keen to continue this series, but I need to reread it and get a refresher on it before I actually buy more volumes in the series, because buying comics is expensive, so I want to make sure that I'm investing wisely. There's actually a better synopsis on the back, so I'll probably just read that to you so you can actually get some sort of sense of what this is about. It says, every 90 years 12 gods return as young people. They are loved, they are hated. In 2 years they are all dead. It's happening now, it's happening again. So that's my reading update for now. I do have a fairly busy Saturday and hopefully not as much on Sunday. I really need to film a few more videos because I don't have any waiting to upload. I've uploaded at this point all of the ones that I've filmed, so I really need some new ideas. I need to go and do some brainstorming. Guess what I finally finished? I've been reading this for so long. I actually, when I finished it on Goodreads, I looked back at when I started it, and it was just over a month ago that I started this one, so that is a very slow going read for me, and I ended up giving this one about a 3 to 3.5 stars out of 5. I did say earlier that it did pick up after halfway through because Sabriel started to interact with other characters that were kind of added to the story as she kind of went on this adventure to find her father. But apart from that, the pace at the very beginning seemed a little bit slow going to me, and it was like it was setting things up, which was fine, but I just wasn't really that interested in the narration style of this book. It was third person, but it seemed a little bit dry in its third person use, and I'm not quite sure what type of third person it was. I found it hard to connect with because of that. For a book that follows an 18-year-old necromancer, I thought I'd give it a 5 out of 5 stars, and one of my friends raved about this series to me, so I thought it would be a lot more than I actually ended up giving it, which is 3.5. So I'm a little bit disappointed that this wasn't as high a rating as I thought it would be, but eventually one day I'll probably continue the series, but because I don't own it at the moment, I probably won't continue it for a while. So at least this is not on my TBR anymore, which is kind of the silver lining, but I do wish that I had enjoyed it a lot more than I did. Similarly, I gave The Night Circus 3 out of 5 stars, and this seemed pretty dry to me and a little bit boring at the beginning too. I did talk about this more in a previous clip, so I don't want to ramble on too much about this one either, but I'm just disappointed that I didn't give it 5 out of 5 stars. I know Hannah from Clockwork Reader really loves this one and rereads it a lot and rereads parts of it a lot and gave it 5 out of 5. So based on her enjoyment of it, I thought I would like it a lot more because I tend to like similar things to what she reads. So unfortunately, I didn't like this one as much either, but that is 2 3 to 3.5 star books, and unfortunately I really wish I loved them, but it was just a little bit sad, and I really want to move on and read something more fun and something that I will enjoy a lot more. So it is a sad end to this reading vlog, but at least I finished the 2 things that were on my TBR. So next up I'll be reading Aurora Rising and Queenslayer, like I said previously, but it is Sunday, it is around 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not starting these today. I've got a full afternoon, so I'm just going to go relax, maybe buy a camera, but we'll see, and I'll catch you in my next reading vlog. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a comment if you've read these books. Tell me what was a disappointing book to you, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.